thought I told him to spray it with water to retain moisture before applying the film. You can't treat a glazed lily like a cactus.
Hey,
Tighnari!
Oh, it's...
We didn't have anything to do.
Well, Port Ormos is... The exhibition includes flower. Even so, an expert...
Oh, and that expert is you.
Not this time, no. I'm just here to...
Mr. Tighnari! Sanjay! He confused...
Never mind. Forget about... Apologies, Traveler, Paimon. Looks like I've got something to take care of.
Tighnari's busy no matter where he is, huh? Yeah, seems like it. Hey, don't look at Paimon. Well, looks like Tighnari might... Wow, look at these flowers! They smell so...
Huh?
Paimon's... fine. She's just got a little...
Rainbow roses.
It's get... But,
A moment of your time, you two? If it's not too much trouble, perhaps you could try this incense.
Incense? Oh, the scent... Whoa, that was fast!
Think nothing of it. From your attire, I imagine, seeing as we're both travelers from abroad.
Oh, so you're here for the...
I suppose that...
Paimon is Paimon! Thank you so...
The traveler, right? I've heard a lot about you from this...
What happened back there?
Have you ever heard of... To put it simply...
What?
Well, we're all different. But there's no need to worry. Pollen allergies...
Oh, well, that's good.
Traveler, Paimon, there you are. I left in such a hurry, I forgot to warn you about all the pollen in the air. Emilie? What a coincidence.
It was nothing, really. We happened to run into each other shortly. I'm more curious as to why you thought the traveler...
Remember the first time we met? You fainted after inhaling Spirit Borneal.
The Spirit Borneal didn't...
It's not really something...
Exactly. I even encountered a case in Font.
Whoa. Good thing Paimon...
In addition to medicine, Emilie is also very knowledgeable.
And that's where my expertise...
A flower expert?
Wrong.
Well, I did come for the...
Oh, Paimon was sure she got...
It's a kind of flower that was...
August, huh?
In an ancient language, the word is... that reminds me. Are you familiar with his perfume mania? It all started when several merchants, no one anticipated. The demand was twofold. What's the value of these products? But at the end of the day, perfume is just perfume. Luckily, the Palais in the end, only a few wealthy families were affected when the...
What does all this have to do with that...
Well, during the craze, the most popular...
10 million? Then what about now?
After the mania ended, most perfumes returned to a normal... Its namesake, the flower used to create it, Indeed. The Auguste, when the bubble popped, all the flower...
But didn't you say you came to the...
Yes. I came to invent...
Traveler, we should help Emilie look for it.
I have to agree.
Even if I can locate the flower... Divine, noble, one of a kind. All beautiful sentiments, to be sure. But to me, when it comes to perfume, I want people to forget the price.
Wow, so noble.
Of course... There's also a more practical reason. Every so often, someone will claim to have recreated the unique scent of Auguste, and the rumor mill will...
Okay, that's more like...
Ever since that rumor started, if I can dispel the fanaticism, then I'll be free from all the stories...
That makes sense.
Oh, I would of course be grateful for your...
Well, you said it yourself. We're both
I suppose...
Based on the information I have so far, it's unclear if the rumor is true. Mr. Edgar also thinks it's too early to say.
I was just about to pay him a visit.
Edgar? Who's that?
The person you've been trying to guess this whole time. Back when he was still working in Fontaine.
I should also mention, he was...
So this guy was a famous perfumer in Fontaine, but then he came...
It's a long story. If you're interested, we can talk more about it when we see him. He should be staying near...
Overruled. Oh, look at all the flowers!
Apparently, the exhibitor paid a large sum to rent out the hotel and surrounding buildings. They're being used as temporary storage facilities and lodging for exhibition personnel.
Yeah, what if guests come early? They won't have anywhere to stay. Also, renting out this big of a hotel, how are they gonna make that more of that?
It's been so long. I almost...
Well, you and your brother.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All this...
Hold on. Oh,
It's nice to see you again, Master.
Emilie? Is that you? I've heard you've become quite the famous...
Oh, well, it's all thanks to...
Hardly. I've taught many students here in Sumeru over the years. And who are these two? I don't remember.
They're my new friends, the Traveler and Paimon.
Emilie's friend.
And these two gentlemen? Are they friends?
Of course. I'm Ood. And this here... yes.
Merchant brother?
You must be here to look for the...
Well, what respectable perfume...
I'm guessing you're here for the same reason, Emilie. I commissioned a few eremites to do some scouting for me. That being said, some of them were merchants who live a one-of-a-kind, divine.
Maybe someone around here just happened...
No, I don't think so. A goose is even more... Although,
Impossible. If a goose were...
technically speaking, the scent...
Well, let's table that question for...
No. By the time they realize, compared to things we see and
It almost sounds like some...
Wait. Are you saying...
Just thinking out loud.
we don't have much to go off of right now, but we can't rule. You all traveled so far to be here.
Ooh, you've got the keys to the rooms? Do we get...
I managed to tidy up.
Oh, and we just...
I should.
Don't worry, Master. I can sleep on the boat tonight. Or I could even camp in the wild. It would give me the opportunity to... although, would it be possible for...
Well,
Of course. No...
all right then. I'll prepare some refresh.
Whoa, the smell of flowers is so strong. Paimon took a peek through the window earlier and his house was packed with flowers. Looks like this exhibition...
No, that's a florist thing. We work closely with the essential oils of various...
Oh, guess there's just too much to store for the exhibition then.
Oh, this room seems to be a connected Blaze, while you're out, why don't you bring our luck... Blaze!
Yes, of course.
All right, then. Where can we find your luggage, mademoiselle?
It's still at the port. In addition to some daily necessities, there's also a case of amber wine that I brought back from Fontaine. Could I trouble you to bring that back as well?
How generous.
Is that so? Mr. Ood, Mr. Blaze, thanks for...
Hey! What are you doing?
That's Master's voice.
Edgar!
Master!
Hey, Edgar! Are you...
Kiri.
Kiri.
Hey, Edgar? Edgar!
No, don't shake him. He's injured. Just leave him to me. You two can... Oh, thank you.
That strange smell around here. Is it coming from this bottle? Oh, really? Do you think whoever...
I checked. Oh, but that's impossible. Oh, the culprit, I mean. It's not like the culprit.
Well, we looked all over, but the only clue...
The most important thing we can do now is focus our efforts on treating Master.
So, how's he doing?
When I administered emergency treatment, I discovered a residue in his... He's still unconscious, and inducing vomiting could obstruct his airways. Ah, yes. The scent is the same. But first, I do Mr. Sylvain, Mr. Lucien.
Wait, you know...
Hey! Were you talking to us, mademoiselle?
Before arriving in Sumeru, I asked a friend from the Special Patrol to look into the creators of Auguste. There were 4 people and a researcher from Sumeru responsible. The 2 brothers capitalized on the mythos surrounding Auguste. In the end, they were sent to the Fortress of Meripede for false...
And what is...
Every time your brother called you...
Ah, Miss Emilie, out of respect, you have a bright future ahead.
You claim to be regular perfume merchants.
What?
Amber wine is a perfume I created until recently.
Emilie, you little...
Don't misunderstand, Mr. Sylvain. I don't bring this up but Master's life is in danger. If Master's attack had something to do with Auguste, I would imagine the 2 of you might... So I'd like to trouble you for some information.
Fine.
Sylvain!
Lucien, if this will help us find Kyria, then it will be all worth it. You were right, Miss Emilie. There were 4 of us at sometime down the road. The Marshal...
Sounds like he's still upset about that. Wait, then how did Edgar end up in...
Master was convicted as an accomplice, so he only had to serve a few years. He decided to move to Sumeru so that he could... Still, Master was That's how I met him. But we can talk about that some other time. I want to hear more about this researcher.
Like us, but before the...
But destroying all...
It didn't matter at that point.
What?
Sounds like you did an investigation of your own. Why even ask...
The name wasn't mentioned in any of the files I reviewed.
Kyria was Vijava. He was just a clueless kid back. Vijava kept him close most of the time. The 3 of us were probably the... After our operation was compromised, he disappeared.
So, you think Kyria took something with him back then?
Vijava doted on the kid like you wouldn't believe if she left something behind before...
And judging by the liquid in that bottle, the Auguste flower wasn't the only thing he reproduced. He managed to replicate...
So the liquid Edgar was forced to ingest really was Auguste.
Poison? No. If Auguste could be considered a poison... He probably... We're not looking for Kyria because we have it... We only would... As long as we keep...
So that's why you never...
Yes, exactly.
Anyway...
Well, at least we're...
Well, glad to hear it. Lucien, let's head back to the room and rest.
Yes.
You think so too? That does seem to be the case. But based on Sylvain's tone of voice...
The way you exposed them like that? Just based on... Oh, right!
Oh yes, that's because most of the patients
So you're,
Close. I'm actually a forensic cleaner. Once the In fact, with just a small alteration to the formula. Basically, there are 2 sides to forensics. I've learned a lot in my line of work, and I've witnessed a lot of death. But this time, we may still save the patient. Actually, Traveler, could I trouble you to I'll stay here and continue to look.
Whoa, why the rush? Did something happen?
What? Edgar was attacked? He's the most famous...
Sheriff, have you received any reports of a suspicious individual?
No, but I'll start gathering my forces.
What about you, Tainari? Do you...
I'm sure the sheriff can handle things over at the scene.
But she said she's not...
Then she was far too modest. Not to mention the fact that Mr. Edgar's... As for me, I'll head to the academy.
Oh, that's right.
From Emilie's letter, certainly, but that was the first. I didn't have time to look into it earlier, but now it seems like I have friends in Sumeru City that can help. I'll leave you and Emilie to watch over things here in Port Ormos.
Staring into my...
Well, it's been a day. Wonder if Tainari's discovered anything. But things weren't looking good with... Emilie!
No longer encrypt. My chemical analysis of a goose also went smooth. I was able to identify the component.
Elemental energy?
Hard to say. It was such a mind. I had to use one of the newest tests developed. Unless you were abnormally sensitive to elemental. As for whether Master's condition was...
Oh, that reminds Paimon. Did Tainari come?
I received a message from him last...
Oh, Paimon thought he might have stopped by this... excuse me? Is Miss Emilie here? Oh, perfect! Familiar faces! Traveler!
Kale. Oh, of course. Tainari's a... And please, no need for...
Did Tainari send you here, Cole? Yep. Master and the others went through Anyway, based on what they've reviewed so far, Master considered that possibility as well. But the name wasn't the... How is that possible?
It's starting to seem very likely.
Hey! Lucian!
It's Sylvain! Wait, you don't think Kirio came back, do you?
That seems impossible. If someone came in or out of the hotel... It's locked?
There's no one here.
Lucian! Lucian!
That's Sylvain.
Lucian! Lucian! Come on! Emilie, Emilie.
I'm sorry, Mr. Sylvain.
No, that's not.
Traveler, Kale, Mr. Sylvain has gone. He needs some space to calm down.
Of course. Leave it to me.
Thank you both. Mr. Sylvain, let's get... We'll take things from here. Just focus on getting some rest. Here, this way.
Poor guy. He's like, he may have made some bad decisions.
Good person or bad, the death of a loved one is all the moments he shared with his brother, every hardship.
If Kyria really...
Lucien can no longer... Traveler, I've got things...
Who would have thought? Miss Emilie, I heard...
Oh, I'm not actually a friend. I did take a...
Then, would you mind help?
Of course, I appreciate...
We'll help too. And the windows are
Pupils are dilated.
Well...
So, did you find anything?
Paimon can show you. Here, it'd be something like this.
But...
No, his reaction to the loss of his...
Then, what could have...
I agree. Also, I've made...
Mr. Sylvain, I need you to...
After Kyria attacked Edgar, we returned to our rooms and decided to lock all the doors. The only door we kept unlocked was the one... But I didn't hear any sort of commotion last night. Not a single noise. I woke up this...
So, no movement from the room next door. No forced entry. No signs of a struggle at the scene.
I did notice a few things about the body. Lucien's pupils were dilated. There weren't any traces of liquid in his mouth or nose, so it's unlikely he was...
A goose? No, that's not possible. Inhaling a goose won't kill you. And anyway, no. Emilie, you ran your tests.
No, I didn't find any...
See?
That may be true for most people.
Master!
Edgar?
Thanks, Sylvain. No matter how hard you may try,
Edgar!
even if we could keep it a secret, no, he would never give up. That's Yelena wasn't a scholar from Sumeru.
Fatous?
The Fatui.
Ah, so you've already
Oh,
the August flower.
The Fatui, delusion...
Born of a delusion, Auguste
that's enough. At first, Yelena wanted to... It didn't have any effect on...
So you decided poison?
Listen, it's not... Unless you were particular...
It may be true there are no records of Auguste poison, but even if no one was acutely poisoned, that explains why you were so intent on keeping Yelena and Kyria's involvement. The Fatui, delusion...
Ha! A goose was harmless.
So there's bad blood between you.
What about Yelena's death?
I'll admit, we thought about it at one point. We took care to do, but if the Mara, before we could even put our plan in motion.
But if her goal was to destroy... Yeah, she could have just burned the...
I thought about it for a long... Everything she did. One of the reasons they, after arriving in Fontaine...
So she couldn't flee with her brother.
If her true identity, the Auguste flower, so
the wealth you earned from a...
most likely. That's why Lucien and I were...
But why is Kyria...
I don't think he knew his sister, Yelena, always...
Then all we'll need to do is tell Kyria... I'm not so sure. Even if he knew the truth, he'd still... It's hard to pull yourself out...
Very true.
Edgar!
Think about it, Sylvain. If we hadn't invited...
She knew we were just trying to earn a bit. Lucien's crying. Fine.
3 people from Fontaine, 1 from Snezh. Well, we can only wait until the Academia sends someone to deal with it. And, with the exhibition...
The hotel could suffice, although with Sylvain...
Mr. Edgar, are you saying...
If Sylvain is to stand trial, I'd just like to take care of a few... As for Sylvain, I'm sure he... Would you be willing to grant that request, Sheriff?
Well, all right. The man we grew to know in Sumeru...
You have my thanks, Sheriff.
Happened tonight?
Yeah! All we know is that he uses a goose to poison people. But we still have no idea how to catch if he targets...
That may be true. But what if we can... if we take advantage...
Master, no!
So, if Kyria learns... In other words, you want...
Capture? Not necessarily.
Afraid? I'm spending the rest of my life in prison anyway. As for the danger...
I'll admit, it could... Then I'll station some of my men around the hotel.
I still have some reservations.
I'll also...
Although, I think if Kyria noticed another...
You mean if he doesn't see a way to get his hands on the tube?
If that were to happen, everyone's standing guard.
That's why everyone else needs to keep to the shadows.
You're still recovering. You need to rest.
All right, we can figure...
Have you heard? Mr. Edgar's been detained.
What? He's the one who...
He taught my child how to make perfume. How could this happen?
He hasn't been convicted yet.
Oh, everyone on the street. Let's head back to the hotel and take a break.
Thank you, Kale. But first, here. I prepared a kind of herbal tea that helps calm the spirit. Why don't you...
Oh, that's very...
Oh, it's...
what?
You seem very preoccupied.
Oh, Hey, Emilie, Kale. Oh, are we... No, not at all. This will be easier to talk through with you here anyway. I've just been thinking. There was just a single... When I accompanied Sylvain to... Maybe Kyria did that on purpose. Maybe he wanted Sylvain to. So did he attack Edgar?
Based on what we've heard about
Losing his sister all those years ago. Whenever I get to thinking like that, I just can't. I'm sorry. I know I.
There's nothing wrong with. In all my years of cleaning up crimes, some of them even try to surround yourself with fragrance. So while you hold on to Sylvain and Lucien, answering those questions requires a lot of time and evidence. I've witnessed a lot of but generally speaking,
Once you're consumed by hatred,
you're right. The fact, but that also makes us. I understand Kiria's decision.
the fortune.
Emilie, Traveler. Huh? Edgar.
Oh, it's you two. Didn't you head back to your room to rest, Edgar? Is it really okay for?
Besides, I don't have much time left in Sumeru. So,
We could do that for you, Master.
no need. I would imagine Sheriff Sharp.
The Night Watch.
That's right. I've stationed some of my men around the surrounding area. Exactly. After some discussion, and Emilie's expertise is sure to come in handy in a pinch. That's why I want you two stationed next to Sylvain's room. So, are you up for it?
Sounds perfectly reasonable.
Not a peep. Has Kiria given up on his revenge? Guess. Still nothing unusual. Paimon took a peek into the room next door and Sylvain's already sleeping.
Perhaps Kiria's true motive was no, that can't be right. If all he wanted was for Sylvain, there must be something we're missing.
Maybe we just need to calm down a little. You're right. Maybe we can look for a different distraction then, like, oh, there's a glaze lily here. Paimon didn't notice it earlier.
Flowers. Oh no! Sylvain's room! Quick!
Wait, what?
Hey, did you hear?
It was the older of the merchant.
Yeah, I think his name was Sylvain. Poor guy.
First it was Mr. Edgar, then that merchant named...
Listen up, everyone. This is an act of crime.
It's been 3 days and they haven't even caught a...
Do you think it could be the work of an... I mean, how do you get a...
Keep it moving, everyone. No law.
I suppose
You don't know that. Kiria...
you were the only...
Even if I wasn't there...
Is that so? I have accepted, Kiria. It really makes you...
If you really want an answer, I suppose you'll have to ask Kiria himself.
Well, Emilie, there's... But so many flowers were transported here for the show. Whether Kiria gets to me, I know it's
Of course,
Really? Now I... True.
Sheriff Sham still has...
Go ahead. Best not to keep him waiting. He can't...
I'm sorry, Master.
Another all-nighter. Emily still isn't back. I hope she didn't run into any trouble. Yeah, that's true.
Traveler, I had my men start spreading the information you requested. The crowd is gone. After listening to Emilie, to be honest, I'm still not sure how the crime was committed that night.
The key clue was right in front of us. Let's go. We'll show you where the culprit hid a goose. This is it!
The glazed lily, huh? I think I've heard of it before.
Well, did you know it only blooms at night?
Emilie, you're back!
Exactly at...
A flower that only blooms at night.
Exactly. Although, that's why Kyria chose...
If poured into the flower pot. That doesn't sound right. If applied to the outside. That doesn't sound right. If applied to the outside, you would still... If applied to the outside... There's a sticky substance. If you stick the petals together with slime...
That's right! He applied a diluted form. That way, the agouste would remain trapped inside during the daytime. However...
And Kyria could exit...
By the next morning, the sample of agouste would have nearly...
Wait a second. You're telling me this And how did Edgar even survive ingesting a whole bottle?
That's because agouste is just as...
Ah, you mean... That can't be right. They were involved in the operation.
I wouldn't use the word allergic. You can think of it this way. It's not that...
The incense I smelled earlier seemed... All kinds of essential oils commonly found in alchemical products can... That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. In Sumeru...
Alchemically produced essential oils, the primordial seawater that caused unrest in Fontaine not too long ago. All of those are
That stuff gave us a lot of trouble when we first came to Sumeru. Ah, yes. I definitely remember that.
In Sumeru, it's not uncommon to use incense indoors, so...
Flowers were pretty important to this plan.
Actually, it's not a coincidence at all.
No wonder he was willing to pay us. He probably used the Mora Yelena put in the end. It was just...
There's a saying among but up until this point, but because he's been disguised as someone else...
The Mora spent to rent out the house, it all points... Kyria and Edgar?
But... Kyria was only in his teens. Edgar's lived here for so many years.
Bad news, Sheriff! Mr. Edgar was attacked!
What?
A dark shadow-like figure just ran up, but before we could even react, do you think Kyria kidnapped?
I need you to think very carefully about this.
I mean, Mr.
It would seem Master decided to tap...
What? But that's so dangerous with the condition he's in. It's...
But why?
No. If his aim was to target
If he left Sylvain alive yet...
Then... there's...
The shadow-like figure ran in the direction of the elevator, and my partner immediately chased after them.
We should hurry, before they're forced to confront each other.
Where in the world did he go? Let's ask the merchants nearby.
It's all right. Please, calm down and take a deep breath.
How could...
This is terrible.
It's all right. I can detect a faint whiff of the scent from here. It's this way. Please, follow me. The scent is getting stronger. This...
Oh! Are you all right? Were you attacked?
Let me take a look.
The air definitely feels heavy. It smells nice, but for some reason, this feeling, I've encountered it before.
Everything looks all right. It was probably just the stress.
I can't rest. Mr. Edgar he's a good man.
Oz, you need to calm down and listen.
But how is that possible? Mr. Edgar is 70-something.
That's precisely why he had to resort to extraordinary measures. Kyria used a
No.
And what if the I've yet to confirm it, but I suspect Kyria killed the real while Edgar was incarcerated. The new Edgar then decided to relocate to Sumeru, seemingly out of an innocuous desire, and Sumeru as the years went by. He removed his disguise a little.
That explains why he aged himself.
I need to find Mr. Edgar. He's not that...
What you really need...
No,
Wait! This environment is likely being influenced by the delusion. Any discomfort, no matter how I know how to relieve your... I'm sure Kyria... No.
Kale's right. The Traveler and I will take things from here. From our this leads me to believe those blessed with a vision... Actually, now that I hate to trouble you.
Thanks. Hear that?
Got it.
Traveler, Emilie, for someone who's only...
Don't worry. This isn't the end. We're not going to let a goose kill any... Monsters. Perhaps they were attracted here by the increased level of elemental energy.
Yeah, everybody stand! Overruled. This is where you fall.
I've never seen these seeds before. They must also have been created with the power of a delusion. It seems to be avoiding us, and there's no other way forward. Perhaps we could try luring it to the edge of the cliff. I fear that statement is truer than you know, Paimon.
But why would he only needed a few?
Perhaps hatred wasn't the only emotion fueling his obsession. Not long ago, he told me he didn't want all the flowers, but Kyria betrayed Snezhnaya. abandoned Fontaine, and lived his for someone with nowhere to call home.
Order guide you.
Laid bare.
This'll brighten up the place. Extract!
I will have order.
A plant that destroys seeds. Huh, quite the ecological marvel. Let's head back to the place where the seeds first appeared. The scent of flowers is getting stronger. We're almost at the end. The scent of flowers is...
Did they catch up that... No. My strength is just waning. But it doesn't matter. This is...
This is a garden of Auguste flowers. But it's not mine. It's the one that was set on fire all of... Yelena? Yelena! You tried to hide it from me, but the reason why you continued to use the delusion, the reason why you set your garden on fire, I shouldn't have listened to you that day. I shouldn't have taken the Mora and ran. But by the time I realized something wasn't right, there was nothing left. The flowers were gone. And so were you. I know I'm almost 20 years too late. I should have died with you that day. Yelena? Yelena! No! Don't leave me! Yelena!
Emilie? I'm alive. No.
That was an illusion, likely brought about by the residual toxin.
No. The amount of Auguste I drank, it should have been enough. A fake.
We started making the prep to create a perfect accord. The accord is the basis of perfume making,
the product in its most primitive form. Ambergris mixed with cedar wood, rounded out with a base note of agar wood.
This is the scent of leather?
Exactly. We're unable to extract essential oils from leather, but by combining other raw materials, we can recreate its essence. That is the purpose of an accord.
Does that mean you can recreate any scent in the whole world?
I'm afraid not. Certain fragrances in this world are simply one of a kind. That quality is what draws people in and fuels their obsessions.
If I wear a goose to the ball, I'll also be one of a kind. Our competitor already got their hands on it.
It doesn't matter how much it costs. I have to buy something better.
This fragrance will be one of a kind no more. Myths can be deconstructed. Miracles can be recreated. All it takes is skill, experience, limitless exploration, and a little patience. The only thing left is determining where the real Auguste is hidden. Pretending to be attacked means he's not free to move around. Auguste must be hidden within reach.
Paimon took a peek through the window earlier and his house was packed with flowers.
The curator commissioned a flower pot from Kasharawar capable of retaining heat and moisture.
Perfumes are as beautiful as flowers, and equally as delicate. When stored, you must take care to control the temperature and keep them away from direct sunlight. Did you get all that, Emilie?
I got it.
Did you hear? Someone was attacked again last night.
So, Sylvain is dead. Is that right?
Yes, Master.
So, you switched the bottles of Auguste?
Convincing you that you're...
Impossible. If Auguste...
It was a combination of... But recently...
Rainbow Road...
Auguste was created perfumery tech, the mythos surrounding...
The past.
You've been working as a perfumer for all these years. You should have always known that it is, but the meaning you assigned to Auguste became so inflated, you allowed yourself to get lost in it. Just like the perfume mania that you believed in its divinity and grandeur. You believed your obsession with it.
We just didn't expect it to happen so fast.
Well, so... Since you've been preparing your... That means the new...
Yes.
Who knows?
I know if you had things... So all the crimes he can...
Is that so?
Whoa, he accepted that kind of fast.
I don't feel the need to justify. I did what I set out to do. But this...
Careful, everyone.
Stick close.
Looks like I'm...
Of course, Master.
The combination. You...
The scent of Auguste, so, as...
You're saying...
Rainbow roses, but if you cultivate...
Rainbow Rose... Yelena.
Did you know? Miss... right.
Seems like everyone in Fontaine is talking about the new perfume
I was hoping to release it without... I just hope it won't become the source of some new myth. I did. Although... Also, I was...
Of course! A good... Oh, it smells great.
Besides, when it comes to perfume,
Right! Do those flowers have some... A language of flowers? Oh,
What each flower is after returning to Fontaine, I did some research. Perhaps that's the legacy Yelena...
You think Kiri...
I paid him a visit. Who knows? Yelena is gone. Even if that avenging her... Kiria cultivated his revenge like... In any case, thank you for saving my love and hatred are when someone died. But even if it's only a conjecture, the meaning we... And yet, at the very...